Hello, hello, hello. Good Monday evening to you. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the healing, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. Now, with that said, I'm going to be short on this subject. I have something scheduled later on this evening, but I just couldn't help myself. Um, I went into town the other day, me and Duggar, and we did some shopping and had to pay some bills and paid my taxes and so forth. So I noticed. Now I'd been into town a week ago, so I don't go into town every day. Hi, Ian. Hey, Travis. How are you? So I am a frequenter of Arby's. This is not an ad for Arby's, but they're just, I love their heroes, their gyros, and the roast beef ain't bad either. But as far as ground beef or whatever, I'd rather see that meat sliced, in my opinion. Then I know what I'm getting. But anyway, so when I start to go in and I see this great big sign posted all on the door and beside it and everything, the new Georgia law, and I don't have the number. You can look it up, but here's the deal: is that the new Georgia law states that any place that I go into or any person enters at their own risk. So when I went over to Lowe's to get some plumbing supplies, when I went over to Home Depot to get some concrete, when I did these things, all of these businesses now have these great big signs printed out saying, enter at your own risk. So I'm like, well, now I can sort of understand why they did it. In that no one wanted to say, well, that if I went into Arby's and somehow I got sick, not from the food, but from the other dreaded stuff, that I can't sue or litigate against Arby's. Okay. Because that could have been where I might have contracted this. Or if I was at the Home Depot getting cement, I could have contracted it there. Now, okay, I get it. But it's on all these businesses, enter at your own risk. Now, as a 68-year-old weirdo man living down here in the woods, and good evening, everyone, I seem to think that I've been doing this all my life. We always enter wherever we go at our own risk. I mean, that's sort of a given. But somehow, the Georgia State Legislature had to make sure that everybody knew if you go into this place, God knows what'll happen to you. The Arby's or Walmart or whoever is not responsible for you catching whatever you might catch if you catch it. Now, let's be practical. How in the hell am I going to know if I got sick other than ptomaine? And I've never gotten sick from any product that I've gotten from Arby's. Let me just say that. But I mean, so I went to an Arby's and I somehow came down with, I'm not picking on Arby's. I love them. That I somehow come down with something. And so, where did I go? So I'm going to retrace my steps, right? Well, I pumped gas. I, got some cigarettes, but then people were all masked up with plastic gloves. But I did touch the door handles to get me a soda from the cooler, right? Okay. Well, then I went over to here and I paid my bills. Well, everybody was all masked up with gloves on, and there was very little to transact. I wrote a check, handed it to the lady, and walked out. Okay, so was it the government building? But now, so then I went into the Arby's and ordered some stuff for me and Duggar. He kind of likes the specials. The lady was like, "What do you want to order, sir?" And I said, "Well, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to buy my dog." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "If I get something and eat it, do you think I'm going to eat it in front of my dog?" No, but anyway, so. The idea though so then me and Duggar come home, and then if I get sick the next day or so, that didn't happen. This is a what if, right? So am I going to say, well, I went to these four other places, but but was it who was to blame if I was sick? Am I going to be able to say at any point, at any time, where I was at doing business, that I somehow got whatever it is from that location? Or was I just in a public place? Now, I don't believe in this, but if I was, walking downtown across the street and I somehow breathed in the virus, oops, I said that word. I breathed in some air, contaminated air, and, because I'm not wearing a mask. So therefore, I could have gotten it walking down the street. Okay. I, I don't feel that that's true. But to the point that they had to make a law and have everybody posted that enter at your own risk. Oh my God. So everywhere in Georgia now, wherever you go, you will enter at your own risk. Now, I've been in some caves and Duggar's acting up. Calm down, boy. So I've been in caves, and in Arkansas and in different places, and down in Florida. Anyway, that okay, there are stairs. It's a cave. It's slippery in places, but hold on to the guardrail. But you enter at your own risk. We're not liable for you being stupid. Okay, all right. So there are things that we say, well, yeah, well, that's we're going into a cave. 50 to 100 feet below the surface, and it's slippery and it's wet. I get that. But I'm going to walk into a store and enter at my own. And everywhere you go now is enter at your own risk. So I'm wondering, if I should post a sign at the top of my driveway before you come down the driveway, enter at your own risk. Not that I have many visitors. That's not my point. But so everything now is enter at your own risk. You want to hug your grandkids at your, understand that if you hug somebody, you do it at your own risk. If the next thing, if you arm bump somebody or handshake or something, well, God forbid you hug them or maybe even give them a kiss on the cheek. And so now, if you get it, I'm not liable because you enter at your own risk. You enter into the agreement of the hug, if you will. So if you agree to hug somebody, that's sort of like a contractual agreement. Look, come on, let's give ourselves a hug here, And so, but that's entering into, well, now you have to enter at your own risk. Now, friends and neighbors, I'm going to keep this video short, which is unusual for me, but I got other things to do here this evening. But I just wanted to put this out to you that the state of Georgia has done this for liability issues. Is Dollar General? Am I going to try to sue Dollar General if I can? Because that's one of the stores that I frequent. So if I got sick but I also went here and here and here and here. So could I ever say that any particular business? Now, if I worked at a business and I got sick, different. But as a customer, to enter at your own risk. So here we are. So, you get in your car, enter at your own risk because you might have an accident. That's true. If you travel the highways, I haven't had an accident with another vehicle, but the deer population has smacked the crap out of the front end of my truck. And over the years, I've hit 4 deer, with different vehicles, and not on purpose, trust me. But at the same point, though, so every time I get on the road, I enter the highway and into the Georgia roadway system. I enter at my own risk. That's why we have no fault insurance. So is the next thing going to be that we have to have a no fault insurance policy on ourselves? Because everywhere we go now, we are going to enter at our own risk. So do we have to have personal insurance like, the Georgia law requires that everybody have, a basic liability insurance for your vehicle? It's non-transferable. It's only for you and your car and up to so many subjects, people in your vehicle. But to the point of this mentality, and with today's mentality, I just got to sit here and wonder and stare at this guy and go, who came up with this? Businessmen. Well, what if somebody gets sick in our establishment? I'd be a whole lot more worried about, from the health department standpoint, about whether or not I get ptomaine, or I get sick from eating your food, or not necessarily your fault, but maybe there's a problem with the food you're serving because it was tainted for you got it, kind of thing. Bad hamburger meat or something. But anyway, so with that said, though, everything we do in life, if you stop and think about it, we enter into it at our own risk. If I walk across the floor, I am taking a risk that I could trip and fall. And I have in the past, from a variety of things. But the idea, though, that, well, everything I do, I'm always at risk for. But to blatantly put it on everybody's door and make sure that you understand it. So in life, remember, every step we take, physically, mentally, and spiritually, we enter at our own risk. And that's not something to be like taken lightly or whatever. We do this with intent. Well, I'm going to go to the store. That's my intent. And I'm going to buy some groceries. Duggar's out of dog food, which was true, right? Had to go to town. And as much as he likes scrambled eggs and so forth, he needs more than that. But anyway, but the idea, though, that everything in life, we take a risk. If I walk outside a few years back, I went out to get firewood out my back door. A tree limb broke out of the oak tree and landed on the back of my head and knocked me out for a while out there in the yard by myself. And so weird stuff happens, not only to me, but to other people too. So you say, well, I take a risk every time I walk out the door. Another tree limb could fall, but does it keep me from going outside? No. Is a sign going to prevent me from going and doing shopping if I need something at the store, regardless of who's got a mask on or not, or what the thing is? But I think the businesses had gotten with the folks. Now, I'm not sure. I haven't studied this. But in my thinking about this, Home Depot says, not everybody's wearing a mask. And so, but what if somebody, contracts something and, could they make us liable? So the Georgia state legislature says, well, we don't want to go around enforcing people to wear the mask. So the best next thing is to say, these people are not liable and you will enter at your own risk. That's how they covered their own butts. Just something to ponder and think about. It's like, just, keep an eye on things like this. But, I've in thinking about it the last couple of days, it's just like everywhere I go, I always enter at my own risk. Whatever I do, whatever everybody does, I assume that my tires are going to be good on my truck, but I could have a blowout and end up in a ditch. God forbid, but it has happened. And it does happen. So I get in the truck and everything is a risk. I pick up a knife to slice, potatoes. I could cut my finger. I have in the past. But does that mean I'm going to never cut up potatoes again? No, So, but anyway, we have to look beyond the rhetoric. And I just thought it was just plumb dumb and stupid that they had to make a law and post it on all the businesses around Georgia. But if that makes everybody feel better, I'm just, now I can say, well, whether I have a mask on or not, when I go into a business, I'm entering at my own risk. And so are you. So if you're worried about me not wearing a mask, then you shouldn't come in, So now I kind of sort of have the legal right to, well, wait a minute, they want us to wear a mask. It was in the government building. And there were a lot of people that weren't following the mask rule in the county government building, where there is the sheriff's department and other and I was like, okay, but there's a sign on the door that says enter at your own risk. So they don't have to holler at us. We don't have to argue about it. It says enter at your own risk. It doesn't say mask or no mask or anything. So I find it interesting on so many levels that they did this and that it's now, widespread across Georgia. So anyway, wow, 15 minutes and I think I'm done. Let me say hi to everybody in here now. I've got an appointment later on to chat with some folks, and so I didn't want to get on here and go long. Hello, Barry, Chad, David Castle, as always. Ian, how are you? Project Skyfalls. Man, it's so good to see you. And Teresa, howdy, howdy. I'm still awake for the moment. I've got coffee on. Enlightened One. Yes, Enlightened One. I don't know if that was you that had made a comment in the previous video a couple of days ago. I'm really bad about going in and I can see the comments that folks make that come through my Gmail account attached, but I have issues with going into the Yahoo channel thingy. I get really confused. And so there are times when I would like to make a remark or something and my brain goes nuts. It's a strange thing. But anyway, y'all ever smoke tobacco out of a bong? Brings a tear to your eye. Well, back in the day, well, they still make hookahs, but hookahs weren't necessarily made for weed. They were made for different blends of tobacco. But yes, Enlightened One, DH, and the channel's name is, for those of you who know who Dante is, the DSAHK, their channel was taken down again, and they have a new channel on YouTube simply called The Cause. So for those of you who have followed Dante over the years, his channel has been removed again for obvious reasons, probably. Their new channel, then the messages today were that they were going to upload the videos again over the next few whatevers. But anyway, hi, Chloe. I'm just going back up the list. And if I missed any of y'all, Travis the Brick, Chloe, Teresa, I want to know how important I think you all are. Not only to me, but to each other and to the cause, if you will, because each one of us who are seeking and trying to do the right thing in this world is related to the good side. We want to try to have peace. We want to try to help folks. That is working in a lot of ways on the ground level for the cause. And we should all be proud that each and every one of us has a part in this grand scheme that is this planet, that is the universe, the human race, even with hybrids. Here's the deal. It's up to us to keep the faith. It's up to us to show other people sometimes the absurdity that's going on in our lives, like this video in a way, in that, listen, did we really need to have a law for people to understand that we enter at our own risk? Couldn't the different businesses put up a sign that said, due to conditions, enter at your own risk? So I'm going to open up my bar or my restaurant or whatever, and we can pack the house, but you're going to enter at your own risk. So once you open the door, you've signed the contract. So in these things, is that really absurd? Haven't we been doing this all along for centuries? We always enter into the temple or enter into we always enter at our own risk. So life is a risk all the time, but it's not scary unless you allow it to be scary. Yes, Barry, we're just beginning to come together in this live. Hi, Richard. Richard the Red. Okay, I was trying to disseminate. Hi from UK. How are you? I used to have friends of mine who were lived in the UK and moved to the United States. Some of them in the theater business. Good folk. And there's this one English dish I can't remember that my friend always made for me, and it's like, oh man. But anyway, but in this, and welcome everybody. Um, I'm I've never been concerned about the numbers on my channel because my message from my spirit guide says that anyone who needs to hang out, listen, or hear the word or the discussion, because I say believe what I have to say, in that you should at least take some, as an opinion. There are all these, everybody's got an opinion, just like buttholes, right? Of course, some people have to wear their buttholes on their side and poop in a bag, but and I don't mean that negatory, I'm just saying. But we all have to, excrete. And sometimes people want to excrete fear and disharmony and things that are not of a spiritual nature. And in these weird times, we need to hang together. And I consider every single one of you a real trooper in what you're doing. And remember, it's not about whether or not everybody believes what you believe, but it's the respect that we have with our own opinions. And the fact that we come together in this channel and other channels, that we are members of the League of Like-Minded Beings. And I'm proud of you all for that. Thank you. So with that, I'm going to go. Weather is terrible. Yeah. If Biden is a clone, his interface is failing. Either that or somebody, whoever's writing on the teleprompter, they have dyslexia, because he's been saying some stuff here that just like, now are they allowing him to say this to make him look like a doofus, and then later on, the girl can take over, and it's just weird. But anyway, one way or the other, we're going to survive. Just keep that in mind. If we give up the fight, we've had it. Then there is no fight. So, but in that, our fight is staying strong in our spirit. Don't let them knock around our resolve. Well, but you could get this. Yes, I could have an accident. I could walk by a building and a brick fall off. I've had a tree limb hit me on the head, for Mother Nature throwing shit at me. We're always at some kind of risk. Get over it. It's called life. And the more we embrace it, and the more we just say, yeah, I know there's stuff out there, it is what it is. So, my friends, 22 minutes, 54 seconds. I love you. Take care. They're going to be throwing some more junk at us. So let's be careful and not try to be, get our panties in a wad. Keep the faith, my friends. And as always, Richard, good to see you. Ian, as always, Project Skyfalls. Ian, let's see, David Castle, as always. Therese, I'll be talking to you soon. But anyway, and from those folks in Scotland as well. So I tip my hat to all y'all. Keep the faith, brothers and sisters. I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, the blessings from the universe. Each and every day, I pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. And in that eternal law of three, I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept, receive, and continue to share the wisdom, the knowledge, the healing, and the blessings from the universe. And, let's all do the side stroke right now. Think of the universe as this big bubble of energy, and we're all swirling and living in it. It's sort of like water, but it's not, although water is in the atmosphere. So everything's connected. Remember, we're swimming in this, I was going to say goo, but it's a soup. We're swimming in the soup of the universe. Remember it. because that's where we get more information. That's where we stay in contact with other spiritual beings like ourselves who are trying to learn and accept and receive and be a part of the good universe. So, my friends, until next time, please be safe. And remember, enter at your own risk. I just think it's hilariously funny, but appropriate. So, my friends, David, Chloe, see you, Project Sky Falls, Teresa, till later, Barry, Chad, and everybody else. And Richard, good to see you. Till next time. Love you all. From South Georgia, as we always say, TTFN. Tau Tau for now, my friends. Peace, love, and cheers.